Hello, here is part one of this modeling basic series. My name is Brian Rocks. In this video, we are going to start roughing out the shape of this ship here from Star Wars: The Old Republic. What we will end up with is this ugly thing that will give you a good base to start, detailing, and also give you good practice adding and editing objects as well. First, I think we should go over the view controls real quick. Down in the menu bar here, under View, you have your view selections, and you also have the shortcut for the number pad as well. Along with the this toggle for switching between perspective and orthographic views. The perspective view just, of course, gives you the perspective stretching, and the orthographic flattens everything out to get rid of the distortion. I work in this in the orthographic mode most of the time, just for coherence sake, because when you do zoom in perspective mode, a lot of times you'll get some weird results. I have included a textured cube here just to give you a quick visual reference of the view planes. I'm going to move this to the last layer so it's out of the way. You have your layer panel down here, which just gives you a bunch of layers that you can move your objects to, so you can organize your scene however you see fit. To move something, you just right click to select it, M on the keyboard, and then just select the layer you want to move it to. And you see there's a dot here, which tells you there's objects in that layers, and you just right click to switch your layers. You can also shift and click to view as many layers as you need. So we're just going to be working on the first layer here for now. The lights and the camera we won't need. So right click on the camera and shift, right click on the lamp, M on the keyboard to move these to a different layer, and we'll just move them to layer 2. Now, on to the modeling here. For this ship, I created some orthographic guides here. Let me pull this up. I got all the views, the back, bottom, the front, side, and the back, and the top as well. I made this first because the original original ones were very low res that I were able to pull. I'll include them in the folder if you want them. I found it kind of hard to see the actual detail in the shape, so I kind of had to take a little liberty with it. But these views are pretty huge, so that you can get a good idea of where everything's at. So we are going to add these to the background of the scene so we can use them as guides. Over on the right side of the window here, you can press T. I'm sorry, N for your properties panel. T toggles the tools panel on the left. So N to open up the panel, or you can also just click on that little plus sign tab up there at the top. There's a bunch of options here, and we can just kind of minimize a lot of these right now because we're not going to need them. What we do need to do is expand the background image tab here, put the checkbox on, and hit add image, and this will let you open up the image. And let's just open, let's go to the top view first here. Let's bring in the top one. Now you don't really see anything here because we're not in top view. Even though this says this is supposed to be all views, it will be if you switch all your views, so you have that image in your front, side, top, and everything else. To limit that, since we have the top view, we want to just limit it to the top. So when you say you hit 3 on the keyboard to go in the side view, you don't see it. So 7 to hit the top view, and you have your background image there. Now you can switch the size and the positioning, but we'll do that when we get all the images in there to make sure they're all lined up. You can also turn down the opacity as well, because usually something like this, the image isn't going to get in the way so much. So now we have the top view in. Let's minimize that and add another image. Go into, let's do the side view here, and limit that to the right. Let's bring 3 on the keypad to bring up the right view. And same thing, we can just minimize that and add another one. I'm going to add the front and back views as well. I'm not going to add the bottom view yet because we don't really need it at the moment. So let's open this up, and I'll choose the front view and just switch the view here to front. And if you hit 1 on the keypad, you'll see it's there for you. So minimize that and add image. And let's do the back side here. And we'll switch the axis to the back. And to get the back view is just instead of 1 for the front, you hit Control 1, and that will take you to your back view. Okay, so now we have all of our main images on here. So we can go ahead and maximize these because we might need to tweak the positioning, and the size I'm going to bring down a bit because when I initially modeled this, it just ended up really huge. So let's do 2.5 on all of these. Just change all the sizes here to 2.5, and that'll just cut that in half. Alright, so that'll be good. Alright, now to line these up, we would just add a cube. So that's all we really need. Shift A will bring up your add menu, or you can also get the same menu from the top here as well. So I'm going to add a cube. Let's go to top view first. So 7 on the number pad. And I'm going to turn off this shading on the cube, and to do that you just press Z, and that will actually toggle shading or wireframe. You can also get that from this menu down here. So you have your bounding box of the objects or the wireframe, or you can go up to even the textured, but this one isn't textured, so you get just a blank white thing here. So I'm just going to pick wireframe. And again, just the Z key will toggle the shading and the wireframe. So 7 on the number pad again, go back to top view. Now we need to just go ahead and scale this so it envelops the whole ship on its edges. There's a few ways to do this. You can just take the object as it is here, and you can hit S to scale, and you can bring it up, and I'll just use the back side right now as the limit at the moment. So when you're sizing, you can see you get a lot of it goes pretty quick. You can slow that down by just holding the shift key, and that gives you a little more precise control if you need to really line stuff up. So I'm going to hold the shift key down while I'm scaling this. Hit the back side here. Now you see when we are in object mode, which all that means is you have just your whole object selected, and you can't edit the actual vertices of the object until you hit tab to toggle into edit mode. and for some reason I have the edges selected. So let's make sure this your edge select. I should go over real quick. You have your vertex select mode, which allows you to vertex or select your vertices here. Edges, that just selects your edge, or you can select individual faces of your object. I'm going to go ahead and work in the vertex select mode, and we will finish sizing it up in that mode here. Along with the tab key to toggle object and edit mode, you also have all the options for your object as well right down here, so you can select them there as well. It's 7 on the number pad again to go in the top view, and make sure you're in edit mode so you can see the little points here. We need to select this whole side to move both of these in, actually. Oops. So let's actually, we can just do this. Hit the B key to enter border select mode, and you can drag a box around. You just drag it around the whole thing here, and then hit S to scale. But you see, when we scale, the whole thing goes, and we just want to scale sideways, so I can bring the sides into the guns here. And to do that, you just hit scale, and then hit the X key to, you're just limiting the scaling option to the X-axis, so you're only moving in that direction. So bring that down here to the edge of the guns, and now hit A. That will deselect everything. Another useful toggle, the A key, selects everything or deselects. Back into border select mode, hit the B key again, and drag a box around the front vertices here, and I'm just going to drag that up to the tip of the wings. Okay, and hit A key to deselect that. Now, so we got the top size, or the top side at least proportioned out here, so let's go hit 3 on the number pad to go in the side view. And you see we're actually a little off here. This image needs to be adjusted a bit to reach the back, so all of our other shapes are going to be consistent when we end up modeling further along. So to move this background image so it lines up with the top one, just go into the it's the side one here, and in the just hit the Y tab, actually. Oops, wrong one. The X axis of the image, we'll throw it side to side for us, and you can see that little selecting the arrow puts it at 0.1, and that's too much. So let's go back to 0, and let's do 0.02. There we go. That'll work. So that one sized up there. Let's go to the front view, so 1 on the number pad, and you can see we're lined up really good on the guns. It's just minor, but that's not gonna affect anything. And now hit Control 1 to go in the back view, and you see we are lined up there as well. There's also another sizing we want to do here on this cube. You can just actually tab, so you're in edit mode, hit scale, and then, or S to scale, and then Z to lock that scaling along the Z axis, so we can bring that down. We'll bring that down around the edge of the wings here. So the landing gear and the landing ramp are going to be added later anyway. So move it in a little bit more. S to scale, Z again to lock it on the Z axis, and there we hit the tips, and we'll be good, I think. Hit 3 on the number pad to bring it back, and let me see where we're off here. Actually, that's not going to matter much. So we're lined up, actually. So 3 on the side, hit 1 for the front, Yeah, that's good. We just want to make sure we're lined up at least on the edges. So we got that side to side set, and the front to back is good. Alright, so it looks like we're ready to start here. Let's hit right click to select your cube and go ahead and, well, we can use this. You know what? I was going to delete it, but let's just use it. Hit tab to go in edit mode. Actually, all of these we can minimize here. That's going to just burn my eyes. So we're into edit mode here. Let's cut this cube in half, because since you see the ship is symmetrical, and we can actually just model half of it and mirror the other half over, saving us a lot of time. So to just do a quick cut down the middle of the cube, you see this loop cut option on the side here, or you see the shortcut is Control R. So I'm going to press loop cut, and then you see you have, if you drag your mouse over the object, it bisects it along whatever face you are pointing at, basically. So I'm going to cut it down this way, so I'm going to get this line up here and left click, and that will enter the second phase of your loop cut, which is where you can slide it to position it wherever you may need. But I'm just going to hit right click to cancel that, so it just puts it right along the center where the purple line was initially. Hit A to deselect all that, B to border select and drag around your vertices on this side, and you can just hit the delete key, or you can also hit X, which will bring up your delete menu, and we just want to delete the vertices here. So you can see that just gives us our half a cube here to work with. So now we need to mirror this over. To do that, just tab, so you're in edit mode, and we will add a modifier to this. So you just go into the panel here under your modifiers, looks like a little wrench, hit add modifier, and find the excuse me, under the generate column, we have the mirror option, and you can see it put up a mirror of the original object we started with here. You can mirror the object, whatever it is, along whichever axis you need. In this case, it's just the x-axis, and we don't need any of the other options. You do want to select clipping. Now what that does is join the center line together. See, if you unselect it, you can see you can pull those vertices apart. In this case, we don't want that, so you just enable the clipping, and that will just keep them locked in place no matter where you're moving it. So let's hit 7 on the number pad to get back in the top mode. And now I think we'll just start with modeling like this section, this centerpiece here. I'm going to hit B to border select. Drag the box around those vertices there, and you can just actually left click on the these handles here, which you can also turn on and off down here. So, and you also have means to change that into a rotation widget, or also a scaling widget. I'll just leave it as the pointer for translation for now. 7 on the number pad. Grab that arrow and we'll bring it back to right there. Hit A to deselect that, B again to border select, and then we'll drag this over to right there. Oops. There we go. And now I want to go into the back view, because you see we have a little angle going on here. Oh, first let's size this. Bring that down. Let's bring it down to here. Now if we go into back view, Control 1, you can see we need to angle this up, and at first we need to actually scale the whole thing down a bit. So select everything either with the A key, or you can border select as well with the B key. I'm going to hit S to scale and then Z to lock it along the Z axis. And we'll bring that down right there. Alright, and now you see we need to angle this in here. So we're going to need a loop cut here in the center. Just Control R or select the loop cut option there. Bring your mouse down and left click. And now you want to right click to cancel that option. So now you see we have a cut there. That was Control 1. Here we go. And now all you have to do is B to border select. And we just drag this in like so. And actually I'm going to hit Control Z to undo that. I'm going to go over the border select real quick. Now border select is going to select everything in front of and behind whatever vertices we got here. So as you see, those are both selected. If I were to just right click on one of these vertices, only one of them is selected, and we want both. So back in the back view, Control 1, I'm going to hit B to border select and drag it around the vertices there, and we'll drag this in. And now, since we do have this mirrored and this is very symmetrical, we could have done all that in one motion. I'm going to hit Control Z, back that out. With that still selected, you can hit B, border select, and drag it around here, and now they are both selected. Grab the arrow, or you can scale S and then X for the X-axis, and whoops, why did that not work? No, duh, in mirror mode. So Control 1, back. Sorry. Let me select these again, border select, and grab the arrow, and we'll just move these in. Okay, so now we just have the crude start of this rough model here. Control 1, back, view. Now, what else do we need here? Now let's go on to the actually, we'll do this centerpiece here since we already have this basic shape. Hit A to select everything. I'm going to tab into object mode, so tabbed object mode. Shift D will duplicate that object. And then I hit S to scale, and we'll scale it down till we'll just hit the top and bottom here to get those lined up a bit. And now hit tab and go into edit mode. Select the top vertices and B border select on the bottom one as well. And we'll just grab these vertices and move them in a little bit. And hit A to deselect. Border select again. And then grab that, pull that out. And now you'll see we have that just about done. We need to move it back as well though. Since when we did scale it, it scaled it around its center point, which brought it back actually to right here. Let's go 3, go into side view. Tab, go into edit mode. You can grab this guy and bring him back here. And then tab to go into edit mode. B to border select. And we'll grab all that and bring it back here. Oops. And we'll see here. Yeah, that'll be good for now. You can just leave it like that. I think we need to go and do something here on this top one. And tab to go into object mode so we can select this other guy here. Tab back into edit mode. And A, I had to deselect everything. So I'm going to 7 on the number pad and go in the top view. Now we need to bring a couple of vertices back here so we can get this angle in here. So border select and drag this down like that. Alright, that will work. And since this is a going to be basically hollow in here, we won't need these faces at the moment. We'll just go ahead. We can go ahead and delete these. So tab in edit mode, A to deselect everything. I'm doing face select mode here. Just right click on the top one, left shift and right click on the bottom, and then you can just delete key and select delete faces. And you can see we have our beginning of our fuselage here. Now we're going to need a back wall there later, but at the moment we ain't going to worry about that. Tab in edit mode. I'm going to hit A to deselect everything. Z to get back into wireframe. And let's go on to the wings here. I'm going to go hit 7 on the top view. And hit Shift A. And I'm going to add a cube. And you can see it added it off center here. Because I get click happy, and when you left click it moves the center cursor here. To reset that back into the origin, you can just hit, in object mode, just do Shift C, and that will reset the cursor there at the axis points. And now since we already added this cube, I can show you how to move it back to the center here. With the cube selected, let's hit Shift S. Now I'm going to add all these shortcuts into the post as well as a reference. So Shift S, and you can move the selection to the grid, and you can move it to the cursor. You can also move the cursor to the selected object as well, along with some other options. What we want here is selection to cursor, and that brings it back to the center. Now we can scale this down a bit, S to scale. Scale it down a bit. It's arbitrary really. We just want to get it manageable here for this area. So G to grab, and we can move this around. I'm just going to move it right in here. Control 1, going back view. S to scale, Z to lock it on the Z axis, and we'll move that down here. And to keep the angle straight, I'm going to line up the cube with that edge there. Okay. And we will hit tab, go into edit mode. A to deselect everything. We're still in face select mode, as you can see. I'm going to bring it back into a vertex select mode. B to border select. Grab this side, I'm going to bring it back here. And S to scale, and Z to lock it on the Z axis, and we'll bring that down just like that. And we have the start of the wing there. So let's go 7 on the number pad and make sure we need to go a little longer here. So B to border select all that. Bring this down into here. And then we need this angle as well. So A to deselect everything and select these vertices and bring them down here. And there we go, we've got to start. If you hit tab to go into object mode, you see that we don't have the wing on the other side because we haven't mirrored this this new object. See, this one was mirrored because it was just a duplicate of this guy, and you can see that the mirror object is on both of these, but on this one it isn't because we never set one for that object. So just hit add modifier in the modifier menu and select mirror, and you see it put it along the x-axis but around the object's center point. That's because this option is active, which is the pivot point is set around the median point of the object. Since the cursor is set at the 0 axis there, I'm going to hit 3D cursor, and we're going to, excuse me, I'm going to go ahead and delete that, and we will add it again. And it didn't work. That's because the object selection is going around that center object, and as these were already based around that center line. So go ahead and delete that. What we need to do is select this bulk here, and since I see my cursor moved again, Shift C to center that. Now we want to move this object origin here to the center line so we can get a good mirror across the object. So with that selected, you can go up here to origin. There's also those shortcut keys as well. What we want to do is set the origin to the 3D cursor. So now you see we have, excuse me, why is that modifier gone? Did I delete that? Oops. I'm going to right click on that center thing again and hit the mirror object. There we go. And clipping. Okay. So now you see we have everything coming along pretty good here. I'm going to go into top view, 7 on the number pad. And we have this, oops, control 1. Go in the back view. Alright, this something moved while I was jacking around there. Tab into edit mode. Border select all this, and we'll slide this out. And we'll move it up, and line it back up again. Alright, A. Deselect everything, and I'm going to go back into edit mode and back in the top view, and I'm going to have to move that down a bit here, so I can just hit G and then Y to grab it along the Y axis to move it down a little bit. Okay, now you see we have a little section in here. We can actually just use this same cube because it's not going to be very visible. Hit Shift D to duplicate. Tab to go into edit mode. Border select all of that, and what I want to do is go back into the median point pivot point so I have my handles available. Let's move this over, and let's actually just scale this along the x-axis while it's all selected, and then grab the handle and bring it back over here. And all we have to do is A to deselect everything, B border select, and then grab all this, deselect, select this bundle, and bring it down. Okay, there we are. Now what else we got here? Control 1, go into the back view, and gives us more to look at. Now I'm going to have to go in my reference here because I need to see. Okay, so what we want to do is this bulk on the edge here. So actually we can just hit A to select all of that, Shift D to duplicate. And now when you do a duplication in edit mode, let's actually grab this and move it over. And you tab back into edit mode, you see we have one object. When you duplicate things in edit mode, it just extends, it just adds to whatever object that is. In object mode, if you duplicate something, Shift D, you end up with 2 separate objects. So that's just something to keep in mind while you're modeling. You can always separate selections of vertices out to create its own object. But just keep that in mind, because you save yourself a step later on down the road. I'm going to hit delete and delete that object I just created. I'm going to right click to select this guy again. Tab back into edit mode. And to separate this into its own object, press P on the keyboard, and then just select the selection here. And now you see I just removed it from this set of vertices. Tab back into object mode, and now you see you have two separate objects. Now let's start shaping this guy here. Tab back into edit mode, A to deselect. Grab these vertices, and let's move them back here. I'm going to hit S to scale and Z along the Z axis. A to deselect, B to select all these. Let's scale this up, scale Z. Bring that up to about where that top's going to be, and then move that over here. Let's see. S again to scale, Z. There we go. And now what we want to do, since we need this whole other section, and I think I need to select all of these, hit A to select everything, and we need to move this over. So I was modeling around a couple of minor pieces here. Hit S to scale, Z, bring it down, A to deselect, and B to border select all of this and bring it to where the peak is going to be. And then again S to scale, Z to bring that up here. Oops. And then we need to extrude this object down to complete these two angles here. So to extrude an object, hit E to extrude, and that will bring that out here. Left click to set that, and now you see you have a whole object. When you hit E to extrude, it just gives you another section and so forth. I'm going to hit Control Z to undo that. Control 1 again to go into back view. Z to get rid of that shading. And now we're going to S key to scale, and then Z to lock that on the Z axis and bring that down just like that. And now we need to extrude this last little chunk here. Hit E to extrude and set that, and there we go. Excuse me. And now 7, going back into top view. And I gotta look at my reference here. Yeah, it looks like we can just bring that up to the, just in the guns here. You're not going to see most of that along this edge because it'll be covered with a bunch of smaller details later on. Hit B to border select and grab that, and we'll just move that down to, yeah, we'll just keep it where it's at. That's fine. So now you see we have the wings taking shape here. Let's see. Okay, now let's do a couple of the other major components here. I'm going to go 7 to go into top view, and Z to get rid of that shading. Say the wings we're going to save for later, actually, because those were a little tricky. I'm just going to do this front section here, and hit Shift C to recenter that cursor. Shift A, add an object, and just add another cube. S to scale that down. And we'll hit G to grab, and we'll move that over here. And we'll hit Tab to go in edit mode. B to select this side here. We'll stretch that out about there. It's going to 1 to go into front view. And grab these again since they're still selected. And we really we only need to go about right here with it. Hit S to scale and Z again to lock that on the Z axis. And should have a little better line here. Let's see. I'm gonna make sure this is kind of even along that line. Yeah, it looks okay. Hit A to select everything, and S to scale, Z to bring that down again to about right there. A to deselect. I'm gonna select these and scale those a little bit on the Z axis. There we go. And that's the start of the front here. Look at this real quick. Okay, yeah, this was all this cowling type thing here. It was all one piece, so I'm just going to concentrate on this little block there. 7 going to top view again. B to border select. We'll grab all this. Do about right there. A to deselect. B again. Grab this. Alright, hit 1 again for front view. I think we need 2. Oops, dang it, 1. There we go. Let's go select that. Select this. Trying to see where we're at here. That should be right there, actually. That's a B to border select, and we'll bring this up a little bit. Okay, now 7 for top view again. And now we need to bring this angle in here a little bit. So I'm going to go 1 to go into front view. I'm going to, I'm going to make this a little easier to shape. So I'm going to be, now let me do this. Let's loop cut. We'll just select that and slide it up right there. And hit 3 to go in the side view. A little confusing, but let's see. So there's our front view. And we want to select this vertex and this one, and we want to bring them back a little bit. And that will give you the little bevel right there on the edge. The back side, I take it, was flat, so we won't do anything with that. Yeah, that's just a flat side there. You can just give it any angle you want, really, because there's no real good reference shot for that. To do this front section, I'm going to copy this back end here. Because it's the same shape, just a little smaller. So select that, right click, Shift D to duplicate, and then grab and bring it down, and then Z to get rid of that shading. Now I'm gonna show you a little quick thing if you need to do a little precision mojo with these objects. So we want this to be a flat all along the same line here, so and you can eyeball it if you want. It's no big deal because this doesn't need to be precise. Or you can select a vertex along that line that you want. Go in for your properties panel where it says transform. Now this shows you the position of that vertex that you just selected. Now we want this vertex to match this one along the y-axis. So we just take this value 90184, select this vertex and 0.90184, and there, you're all lined up. The border select all this here, move that back. See what we want to do. I want to border select this line just to bring that out a little bit, and then we will border select that outside area, and we'll drag that in just a wee bit, just to give a little different angle. Let's grab that again, bring it out. There we go. Yeah, it's not much, but overall it'll break up the angles on the thing here. So let's see. So 7 to go in the top view, Z, and A to deselect all of that. Okay, and this is going to be actually the last piece we're going to do because we're running a little long here because I ramble and fumble about like a moron. So I'm going to border select this set of vertices down here. I'm going to bring this back. There we are. Actually, let's bring that back to this, where you see this angle changes here. Bring it back right there. And I'm going to E to extrude. I'm going to bring that down this way. And then A to deselect everything. B to select these guys over here, and we're going to drag them in. About right there. I hit 1 to go into front view. See where we're at. It starts to look a little confusing, but hit 7 to go in the top view again. Select all of these and go 1 to go in the front view. See, we're not matching up totally, but it's alright. And I'm going to bring this S to scale and then Z to scale this down. So we get a little angle there. I'm going to hit S and then X to scale it out a bit. So we're matching this this open line here. And that looks pretty good. Hit Z to get in your shading mode. And that kind of gives you a little look at what you got here to start with as a fuselage. Oh, we need to mirror an object here. Hit tab to go into object mode. Right select this object over here. Now hit shift C to make sure your cursor's in the center. And then we want to set the object's origin to the 3D cursor. And we will add the modifier. And there you are. And we also need, it looks like, to right click that guy and control 1, go into the back view, tab edit mode, B to border select, and S to scale, and Z, bring that down. As you can see, we're matching this. Whoops, speakers fell off the desk. There we go. Now we want to match this line right here. Back out a little bit, and A to deselect, B border select again, and whoops, I didn't want to move that. I just wanted to scale it down the Z-axis, and we'll give it an angle like so. So you see that's just a little inset piece there, and that's looking pretty good. That's for a good start anyway. And I think we might cut it right there. 7 going to top view. You see we do have just this front piece and the wings and the turrets. So yeah, I'll save that for a later one. This is getting a little long. So this should give you a start on adding and editing objects. Any questions or comments, please feel free to ask. And thank you for watching.